Hi Leo, welcome to your May 2019 Astrology 33 reading. We have a Celtic cross spread in front of us as always, where you got a few extra cards that came up there, and then we have two oracle cards from two decks to look at to tie everything together after we get through the main spread, and then we also have a mudra card to look at. So we'll get started with the main spread first, and in the main situation there, the card you guys got is the Three of Swords. So of course, it looks like pretty self-explanatory artwork there, right? As far as some of you might be going through some heartbreak. If that's the case, I'm almost getting a feeling that this is more of something that's happened quite a while back, but for some reason it's dredged back up in your memory. Definitely could have been because of that Libra full moon, which was related to communications for you, because your third house is Libra, and that's the house of communication. So, could be related to that, maybe you were talking with someone and maybe some memories came back from a situation, a heartbreak that you guys might have gone through. Now that full moon being in your third house as well could also mean an ending to communications with someone. So maybe this is just saying that you had a falling out with someone as well around that time. And for some of you, this could even point to health issues. The reason I say that is because you guys do have Saturn and Pluto in your sixth house along with the South Node. So, maybe some health issues that you might have been overlooking for a while, maybe they're coming back up for review now. So, whether you want to say that they're flaring up or maybe even issues that you weren't quite able to pinpoint where they were coming from, maybe now or this month you're actually able to address what they are and get them taken care of. In the challenge or obstacle position, we have the Judgment card. So for me, with this in the challenge position, I would say that you're having difficulty getting something back off the ground. So going with this Three of Swords energy, maybe this is saying that, if you tried to reconnect with someone that you might have broken up with in your past, maybe you were turned down in that attempt. Or maybe it's just saying that if you want to fix this heartbreak, it's going to take a lot of work to actually, get things back off the ground, since this is coming up in the challenge position. And what I was saying as far as memories coming up around this, I do see this as a Scorpio card a lot of times. So there is going to be a full moon in Scorpio, which is your fourth house. So this could even point to potential fallout with family members. Maybe just one, maybe three family members, maybe even more than that. Maybe this is just pointing to how long ago the falling out happened. Might have been 3 years ago, for example. And maybe with that full moon happening in your fourth house, because, it's going to be a pretty potent one for you guys. Maybe that's really going to bring that situation back around again, even if just in your mind. Like I said, even if you don't actually reconnect with them, maybe you just really relive that situation again for whatever reason. In the foundation position, we have the Ace of Pentacles. So to me, this is usually the idea to start something new. That's pretty much how I view all the Ace energies, actually. So, it's not necessarily a guarantee that there's some kind of a new start financially, but it could just be more in the idea stage right now. So a few ways that could play out is maybe you've come up with an idea for how you could increase your income. Maybe you thought of a new way to invest your money, for example. And another way it can play out is if it's an offer of some kind, it usually would just be, it might technically be a tangible offer, but usually there's some kind of weight behind it. So what I mean by that is, let's say it was a job offer, and they might say to you, yeah, we're going to offer you the job, but it doesn't start until July, so that would be the kind of vibe there, where it's like, all right, now that you will be having, that source of income come your way eventually, but there just might be some time that needs to pass before you could officially say that it's yours. So that could be what's going on with that. All right, and in the past position, we have the Nine of Swords, the Four of Swords, and the Eight of Swords. So this to me looks like you guys have been trapped in your head quite a bit. I mean, all three of these energies are some of the most stuck air energies that you could have. So it could be regarding that Three of Swords situation, absolutely, saying that maybe you were losing a lot of sleep, having a lot of anxiety, and, maybe you did take some time to actually heal from it, right? And maybe in a way you are healed, but you still don't feel ready to put yourself back out there. That's what that Eight of Swords energy could be saying. Now the warning there, or maybe, well, since it is in the past, in theory this might have already passed for you, but I would say if we were to look at that as a warning, though, it would be to say try to avoid a circular pattern, where, okay, you're in that 9, you take the time to heal, then you put yourself in that 8 energy, which gets you one step closer to being right back at that 9 energy again. So, and maybe that's what it's been for some of you, maybe it has felt like a circular pattern, right? And you haven't been able to break exactly what's been going on, and maybe that's what the judgment is about in that regard. It's like now, the energies at play are kind of forcing you to look at, okay, well, why do you keep repeating that pattern over and over? So that could be what's going on for some of you there. Because it's interesting, too, actually, when I was laying these cards out, I thought that I only had the 9 of Swords and the 4 of Swords, but then as soon as I picked them up, I felt there was a third card. I'm like, okay, the 8 of Swords, interesting. So, yeah, definitely something at play there with anxiety and just not feeling comfortable with forward movement. The good thing is, though, in the present position, we have the 9 of Cups. So this is a way more positive energy as far as those. I mean, look at the difference, right? 9 of Swords. Look at the colors there, and then look at the colors here. So this could just be saying that you're, getting out of that slump that you were in. I do have to at least mention a possibility, though, because I did the Pisces reading, and with Pisces, there definitely seemed to be some kind of situation going on with Leo. So if you guys are dealing with Pisces, definitely check out their reading, because this could actually be pointing to them, because this is actually a Pisces card as well. So if that's the case, it could be saying that, if this was some kind of a separation, right? It looks like, especially if the Pisces was the female, it looks like, they might have ended up getting the better end of that situation. So, whether it was a divorce, for example, then maybe that's saying that they were favored in the way that whole thing played out. Or even if it was just some situation where you guys had a falling out and it turned out that you were in the wrong, maybe that's what's going on there too. And maybe and if this represents them, then this could be saying that they're realizing that now you know it too. Maybe you were insistent that they were in the wrong, and maybe now they're realizing that you have now been reflecting and realizing, oh crap, it was actually you who caused the whole thing to go off the rails. So something to think about there. But yeah, for the majority of you, I think that would be separate from the situation you guys are going through. For the majority of you, this is probably going to be just you guys feeling a bit more comfortable now and coming out of that mental anguish that you guys were dealing with there. All right. In the near future position, we have the 8 of Cups and the Knight of Swords. So to me, you might say to yourself, well, we have the 9 and then the 8. Am I going backwards? Not necessarily. The way that I view it there, if we look at these two energies, they're pretty different, which is to say the 9 of Cups energy is, you see the person, they're sitting there, they're very content. I view this, and if we're looking at it in a positive light, this is someone who knows what they bring to the table, right? And they're like, you know what, I'm going to let things come to me. So, maybe you finally get yourself out of that mental slump. Maybe you finally realize, you know what, that's fine. I know what I bring to the table. I'm not going to sweat it anymore, right? Putting that whole thing behind you. And then maybe you realize, okay, this is a good energy to be in and all, but maybe you're not getting things coming to you as quickly as you'd like. So maybe, like let's say later on in the month, when the sun moves into Gemini, because this is technically a Gemini card, maybe that's when you decide that, you know what, instead of sitting around and let things come to me, I'm going to take the initiative and go out and get something, right? So that could be how that's playing out for some of you. And for others of you, maybe this is saying that, you could be dealing with a Gemini as well. We have to at least put that possibility out there. And if that's the case, it looks like maybe you're moving away from them, or it could be them that's actually taking that action. What's interesting is they're looking right at that Three of Swords. So maybe they were the one who caused the heartbreak for some of you. Or maybe them moving on caused a heartbreak. So, that could be what's going on with that. In the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So this is technically a Virgo energy. And, you guys are ruled by the sun. So where the sun goes, that might be where your focus would shift as well. And for the majority of the month, the sun is going to be in Taurus, which Taurus is a sign that's definitely related to finances. And, even though this is technically a Virgo card, that could just be saying for you, since Virgo is your second house, you might be taking on that Taurus type energy yourself, which is, maybe that's what it is. You're like, you know what? I'm not even going to worry about the whole love situation anymore. I'm going to move on and focus on my finances. Maybe that's where you've been thinking that you need to shift your focus there, but maybe, mentally you just couldn't get yourself to it. Now you're like, all right, I got a hold of my emotions now. I'm feeling better. Now I get focused back on my finances. So maybe that's what's going on there. And, this could just be representing as well, like I was saying, maybe if there was some kind of an offer on the table for you, maybe now it's actually coming your way. They're like, okay, they were talking about it, you were waiting to hear back, right? Maybe that's what some of the mental anguish was for some of you. Like, all right, what's going on? Am I going to get this or am I not going to get it? Now you finally get the offer that, yes, here it is. So in the position of the environment's influence on the situation, we have the Page of Wands. So what this could be pointing to for me, especially, you might feel like you're hitting a reset in some way. That's actually the first impression I'm getting from this. The reason I say that is your card would technically be the King of Wands. So, let's say you did go through some heartbreak, right? Maybe it really bruised your ego in some way, shape, or form. So that's what all this mental anxiety was about, just feeling really stuck. Maybe your confidence was shaken for a while, right? These cards here show that maybe you're coming out of that. And even so, you're definitely moving forward with a Knight here, right? But this is the slowest moving Knight. And, with the Knights, we always have to point out that obviously they have that armor. So they're still feeling a bit guarded as well. That's something to keep in mind. But maybe this is just saying that the environment is making you feel like you're hitting a reset in some way. So you're not quite back to where you want to be, but you're getting there, right? And that's natural for someone if you go through a Three of Swords situation like that. It can definitely take a while. And then with the Temperance at the bottom of the deck too, that could be what that's pointing to, saying that, okay, you went through some kind of setback, you were struggling for a bit, but now you're getting some balance restored. So you're finally starting to feel like yourself. And going back to that health thing too, because like I said, for some of you, this could definitely even be pointing to health issues. Maybe this is just representing you slowly getting your health back in order as well. All right, in the hopes or fears position, we got the Ace of Cups. So, this is actually, when it's in the hopes or fears, it doesn't necessarily mean that it would play out, but I'm going to assume that this is definitely a hope of yours, and this could just be saying that you're ready to put yourself back out there. Like I said, you went, the way I'm seeing it is maybe you went through a heartbreak of some kind, you're really just stuck in your head about it for a while, and possibly even going in that repetitive cycle for a bit. This month, you finally seem to be getting out of that, right? And with that, now you feel like you're ready to put yourself back out there again. So that could be saying that now you're hoping for some kind of improvement in love. And, Temperance, that's a Sagittarius card. That's your fifth house. And Jupiter is going retrograde through there too. So that might help you, get your love life back in order if there was some kind of issues going on there. And with Sagittarius being your fifth house and you guys being the natural ruler of the fifth house, you could be feeling that transit more than most other signs would too. Okay, and then in the outcome position, you got a lot of cards that came up here too. We have the Nine of Pentacles, the King of Cups, the Five of Cups, and the Page of Swords. So to me, this is just pointing to me that, you're in that single energy. The 9 energy popped up quite a bit. We see it there. We see it here in the present position. We see it in the outcome position. But the good thing is, obviously, that is by far the darkest looking of the night energies, right? I mean, the 9 energies, rather. So to me, this shows that, yeah, your mood definitely seems to have will improve forever as we go through the month of May. With the King of Cups energy, like I said, I look at what's going on there. So for some of you, this could definitely be involving family, like I said, because that's a Scorpio card. So is this Scorpio is your fourth house, which represents family. And there is going to be that full moon there. So for some of you, this could just be really just about repairing family connections. And then with the Five of Cups, it shows that there was definitely some kind of disappointment there, right? That's been on your mind. And like I said, this could just be pointing to that same energy that I saw with the Judgment coming up in the challenge position. Maybe when that full moon happens, that's going to be around the 17th or 18th of May. Maybe when that full moon happens, that really has you thinking back on that disappointment before and maybe realizing that, okay, there was some damage done, but all is not lost, right? Maybe it'll have you feeling a little bit more optimistic about that. And then with the Page of Swords, ready to reach out and reconnect with whether it be one person or multiple people. This could just be you feeling comfortable enough. And, this is going to be, this isn't technically a Gemini card. We saw the Gemini card there, but this could also be pointing to that as well, which is saying, okay, you have that full moon energy that really has you reevaluating this situation. You might be thinking about it again, and then maybe by the time of Gemini, you're actually ready to communicate about it. So that could be what's going on there. It's a lot of cards coming out in the outcome, so maybe it's not necessarily that all of these energies are tied together like I just tried to do there. It could just be a bunch of different things going around. And, like I said, especially because I was getting a pretty strong Leo vibe with the Pisces reading. Even though this is really a Scorpio card, this could even be pointing to the Pisces you were dealing with and just thinking about that disappointment you went through with them and maybe communicating with them again by the end of the month. All right, we'll see what the Oracle card's going to add to the mix here. So the first Oracle card you guys got is Regeneration. There's the artwork for it, and the number is 46, so I'll take a look at that first. It says, rebirthed, second chances, new opportunities. The Oracle's message: second chances are available to you now. Whatever opportunities you thought were dead are now revived in a more authentic, stronger form. Whatever you may have perceived as a failure or loss is now being replaced by something better and more powerful growing in its place. This rebirth is assured. Step into your new life. Destiny is being fulfilled in wondrous ways. So, with that coming up, maybe with the Judgment and the challenge position there, that could just be saying that it's not necessarily impossible for these, for you to reconnect if that really is your goal. Just might be saying that it's going to be difficult to do so, especially if it does come out that you were in the wrong and the person you were dealing with is like, they're fully relishing the fact that you realize it was your fault and they might make you work for it. And maybe that's what that Page of Wands and Environment energy is saying too. Maybe I wouldn't say your power over them, but your, how you're perceived in the connection, let's say, might have taken a blow. As far as now, they're like, okay, well, you were Mr. King of Wands, right? But now that the truth is out, who was at fault here, you have to play that page role and work your way back up, essentially, with them. So maybe that's what's going on there. All right, the relationship message says, the world is based on connections and relationships. No matter what loss has occurred in the past or even now, death and endings are only illusions. There is life after death, love after loss, and in this moment, you are radiating the regenerative life force energy that makes you irresistible to love in all forms. Now is the time when you will see evidence of this new emergence. Can you feel it? Love is rising up to greet you. So the love is rising up to greet you. Maybe that could be what's going on there as far as if the Page of Wands does represent another person. This could just be someone taking action towards you and maybe letting you know that their interest in you. So, it could be someone totally new too. Something to keep in mind there. Like I said, because if it is you really coming out of that energy and feeling ready to put yourself back out there, especially with the ace showing up here, this could just be a totally new connection. So it could just be saying that your love life as a whole is getting revived versus an actual reconnecting with the same person again. But that's also a possibility too for some of you, I'm sure. All right, the prosperity message says, what happens when it appears you failed at something? Do you see the beauty in the lesson? The understanding that arises from difficulties is like a seed that lies dormant for a time. Then once it germinates in your subconscious, it pushes through into your awareness. It is becoming apparent that there is a new you, a new start, a more powerful version and form of what you began to plant in the garden of your imagination has surfaced. You are ripe for success. New opportunities, much better than those that came before, appear, like gifts from the gods. Now is one of those times when, out of seeming loss and failure, comes remarkable abundance. Do not dwell on the past, because you really are experiencing a rebirth. So, the experiencing a rebirth part, like I said, again, that makes me think of the Page of Wands energy, where you're not back to that king status yet. It might feel like you're doing a reset in some ways, but this is also a pretty vital energy, too. So you could just be feeling reborn in that regard, and maybe that's what it's saying. Maybe it was a challenge for you with the Judgment card for you to come back to life in that way, kind of after the heartbreak that really might have had you feeling down. All right, and then next we'll look at the message you guys got from the other Oracle deck, the Spirit Animal Oracle. You guys got Dove Spirit. It says, be peace. There's the artwork for it, and it's number 21. Let's take a look at that message. It says, with her peaceful cooing, the gentle dove spirit invites you to embrace the energy of peace and allow compassion to warm your heart. You always have the power to generate peace within you, and the appearance of dove spirit is a reminder that today and every day is a good day to meditate, to quiet any turbulence within as you embody tranquility. Above, below, and all around you, much may be happening to distract you, but you are called to engage it with the heart of a peacemaker, asking yourself, what would peace do? Can you agree to disagree? The peace you seek rises within and spreads out into the world as Spirit sends her messenger to remind you of the beauty of a harmonious existence with all that is. How beautiful and powerful is your compassionate heart. All right, so again, like I said, if this has to do with reconnecting, and like I said, I really did get a vibe that it could be some kind of family stuff, if not romance. Could also just be, if not, blood family, maybe family as far as it could have been someone that you were, like I said, possibly even married to, or even you guys were in a serious enough connection where you might have been living together. So, maybe even if you guys don't flat out get together, again, in a romantic sense, it could just be saying, restoring the balance as far as, at least being on the friendship level, basically. All right. And then the last thing that we have here is a mudra card. So basically, for those of you who haven't been watching the channel lately, I've been pulling a mudra card for all of the signs each month. And basically what a mudra is it's a hand gesture. Like this is the specific one you guys got that you see here. It's the Linga Mudra. And each mudra's their purpose rather is to help clear a blockage. So basically you hold the pose while meditating, usually around a minimum of 5 minutes, anywhere up to 30, 45 minutes. If you're not used to meditating, 5 minutes should be fine. And then you can work your way up if you find it's helpful and you want to try it multiple times. And, they just help clear different blockages, sometimes even physical, but a lot of times more on a mental, emotional level. And the key word for this one for you guys is virility. All right, so let's turn it around so you can see what it has to say about the mudra. And then I'll just hold it up so you guys can pause it or take a screenshot to see what it says. All right, and I'll move it up so you could see the rest because I see didn't have everything in the frame there. Yeah, it says warms the body, relieves cold and flu symptoms, reduces lethargy and laziness, increases self-confidence and willpower. So, I think, well, at least here in the northern hemisphere, cold and flu season's pretty much done, but maybe in the southern hemisphere, maybe some of you guys could be going through some of that. But yeah, I'll put that in the description in case you guys wanted to look into that mudra some more. Also, if you guys want to book a personal reading with me, the info for that will be there as well. And if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, we have a little bit more fun with tarot and astrology there. But if not, I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.